hello to all of our BPTV fans, YouTube fans, new fans, and fans of my new guests that are coming on the show. I'm Alan Levine, the Talking Machine. I'm honored to be saying I'm doing my 15th Talking Machine show. It's been for the last 7 months, and I appreciate all the great views, great feedback, and of course my great guests. I'm going to have my new friends and guests introduce themselves right now.
Hi, I'm Kristen Ubrex, and I am from the South Hills area.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dean Ubrex, the lesser half of Kristen Ubrex.
Well, I appreciate both of them are heroes of mine, especially after my kidney transplant, having a great hero myself. My son Drew gave me a kidney. I found out from Dean and Kristen that they lost 2 children to kidney disease, and Dean, as a father, donated his kidney to help his son Bennett, and I found out it's 11 years ago because we did talk, and they're doing great work in Pittsburgh, and I promote their nonprofit Facebook page, Always Be Smiling. If after you watch our show, you could please like their page. We're trying to get 1,000 likes by December 11th. Kristen, where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Wisconsin and Des Moines, Iowa.
I noticed your accent is
Yes.
a little non-Pittsburghese.
Non-Pittsburghese. I don't quite say that yet, but I have lived here 25 years, so I guess I have to say I'm from here.
Well, we welcome you here.
Yes.
I'm not an ugly Steeler
Yeah.
fan. I don't care. I love the Green Bay Packers growing up.
Good.
So I'm actually a fan that you didn't know
Yep.
of your place.
Yep. No, that's
So
awesome.
welcome aboard here, and I'm about positivity. So can you tell me your high school you went to, or grade school, or anything like that?
So I went to Valley High School in Des Moines, Iowa.
Okay.
So I moved there when I was in 6th grade and spent my teenage years there.
Okay.
And then I went to college at Iowa State University in Ames, Iowa.
So you're moving this way.
We have moved 25 years ago. We have moved this way, yes.
Okay, I sense something there.
Yep.
And what did you study in college?
So I studied business
Okay.
administration, and I ended up going into sales, though, after college, and worked for Pillsbury and Heinz.
That is great. And Heinz is founded in Pittsburgh in like 1869.
Yes.
So
I
I'm
ended up
familiar
at
with it.
corporate there. I left Heinz right before Bennett was born. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
where I ended my career, was at Heinz Foods down at corporate, and it was a great great company to work for.
I've heard that from many of my friends from the unions and others in sales and things like that over the years. And it was always interesting to see their plant and all the things that have happened over the years.
I wish they would have stayed put in Pittsburgh. But
Well, we do, but as you know, times and money change so much.
Yep.
Look at how we had 15 corporate, top 500 companies in Pittsburgh for a town with only around 300,000 people. It's
Yep.
pretty cool.
Yep.
But hey, we're still Pittsburgh strong.
Yep, that's right.
And we appreciate you here. What do you do now?
So I actually, since Bennett has passed away, I work for a small medical company, and then I put my heart and soul into Always Be Smiling. So my
I would
job,
think so.
Yep. So that's,
So you're juggling.
we are juggling, and it's been absolutely amazing. We launched Always Be Smiling December 11th, which was on Bennett's 17th birthday.
Okay.
And we're coming up on a year, but it's been unbelievable, the amount of support and just dedication we've had across the community, and people like yourself that want to learn more about Always Be Smiling.
Thank you.
And we are just so excited for what we have for our future plans.
No, and I was so impressed when you were here at the Gathallen farm, which I've driven by for years and always wanted to go to the farm. So you guys coerced me to go there and talk about living donors and my kidney transplant.
Yes.
And I was so excited for what you're doing and so honored to be your friends. And I appreciate your story. We'll get back to you, but
yes.
I got to go to the lesser half right now.
I grew up I was born outside of Chicago, Elgin, Illinois, but right as a 1-2-year-old, we moved to Minneapolis, Minnesota. So I grew
You're
up
kidding. Wow.
just outside of Minneapolis in Eden Prairie, Minnesota.
One cold neighborhood to another cold neighborhood.
Yeah, and that's for real cold. That's below 0 cold. And then I I should have went to the University of Florida, but no, I stayed there and went to the University of Minnesota.
Oh my goodness.
Got my degree in communications, and yeah, but love the Midwest for sure.
Dude.
And I appreciate the purple Minnesota Viking shirt that you're wearing, so thank you.
Yeah, I do that to mix it up. I've had compliments that I look well in purple. And even though I bleed black and gold.
I know. We need all the fans we can get.
I understand that. Talking sports, you have some nice size there. What sports did you play?
I played basketball, obviously. Minnesota is, hockey town, USA, and
Understand.
a lot of that goes on. But I'm 6'5", so yeah, I played basketball.
Well, I recognize that. My dad was 5'7", even though he ended up about 5'6". He refereed basketball from 1959 to 1983 in Western Pennsylvania, did City League championship games. And his little son, Alan, he tagged around to almost every town in this area where I got to see my dad with giants. Met guys like Connie Hawkins, Sam Clancy, who are big guys.
That's great.
So it was just, I appreciate basketball more than you know.
Yeah.
And that's great to hear that. Did you play from grade school, high
Just
school?
through high school, and then just
was it.
kind of hung it up. You bet.
Well, you knew you had to get a job,
Yeah. Right.
right?
Absolutely.
And what do you do today?
So I work at a medical logistics company, Owens & Minor. They're based out of Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
Been with them for about 13 years. But yeah, we supply a lot of the disposable medical products to all the various hospitals in the area.
That's cool. You even mentioned UPMC, Starsville Montefiore, so
Yeah,
I appreciate that. Everything they got from you worked out well on me.
perfect.
And I even have a nice scar like a hockey stick that is still there. So
Which you'd probably love the story, though, when Dean interviewed with Owens and Minor, he had just given the kidney.
Yeah,
I
that
do
was-
love the story.
Yes,
Please.
and he was in the
Yeah.
hospital room interviewing.
Yeah,
You should
great,
tell
thank
him
you.
that story
No,
a little
yeah,
bit because
so-
of the kidney piece
No,
of it.
that was the first phone interview, back then, and my brother who came in to kind of be with me because Kristen was with Bennett after the transplant.
Oh, sure.
So I don't know why, but I was like, oh yeah, I'll be fine, and it was still, I will tell you, it was a painful procedure, but it was the best thing. I would do it all over again. But my brother stood by the door so the nurses wouldn't come in during
The interview.
the interview, exactly. And so I had the interview, and just another funny thing on it was the gentleman who called me from his cell phone,
Yeah.
all of a sudden I was in my hospital bed and it started breaking up. I'm like, oh my goodness, the phone. And so I literally
You
scooched
moved.
out of my bed to get by the window, and then the call ended. And he calls me back. He goes, I'm in my basement. I'm sorry. It's my set. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. So, yeah. So it was a little crazy. But I always remember that was the beginning of my getting to be a part of Owens & Minor.
No, I love stories like
Yeah.
that. And thanks for sharing this with my audience here. They enjoy these interviews. And now I have more questions for Kristen. Now, I heard with your first child, what happened there?
So Matthew was our first child, and he lived 16 and a half hours. What's crazy is that Matthew lived 16 and a half hours, and Bennett lived 16 and a half years.
I promote that on my show,
Yes.
16 and a half
Yep,
he was.
Yep. So both our sons have a genetic disorder called ARPKD, which is autosomal recessive polycystic kidney disease.
I had seen that and heard it, but I cannot pronounce it.
Yes,
so I
yes,
appreciate you.
Yes. So Matthew was
And
diagnosed.
that's terrible.
No, that's, yeah. So Matthew was diagnosed in utero at about 18 weeks. And what happens is the kidneys shut down because they're so full of cysts.
Yeah.
It's very similar to PKD, except it's
Okay.
in utero form. So the kidneys shut down.
Thanks for explaining that.
Yes, yes. The kidneys shut down, and Matthew lost all his amniotic fluid, and amniotic fluid is very important for the development of a baby.
Yes.
He didn't have the fluid to float around, and so his lungs were extremely compromised because he was, didn't have that ability to expand.
And thank you for explaining this. It's very difficult, I know, and it's horrific.
Yeah, but you know what? It puts us where we're at today with Always Be Smiling. But
I wanted the background so
Yep,
they understand
absolutely.
how traumatic
Yep.
this truly is
Yep.
and how you try to overcome
Sure,
it.
sure. So with Matthew, he lived 16 and a half hours, and he died peacefully in my arms, which was a beautiful gift that we got to meet him and see
Yeah.
him, and obviously God had bigger plans for him. To
God
move
blesses
on from
us
this
in
world.
many ways.
Absolutely.
Truly.
But what's beautiful about Matthew is that he set the stage for Bennett to come into life and live.
And to save his life.
To save his life, absolutely, because we had the doctors that learned a lot from it. Then we had Bennett, and Bennett was diagnosed in utero exactly the same
You're
week at
kidding.
18 weeks with the same kidney disorder. You have a 1 in 4 chance of having the disease like Bennett and Matthew do. So it had
25%.
Yep,
Wow.
25% chance, and it happened to both our children. But the beautiful thing is that Tracy Prosen was a high-risk doctor that came into the ultrasound and said, I'm willing to walk the plank with you
Sure.
if you're willing to do this very experimental procedure. So she put like 17 amnio infusions of saline into my uterus to help Bennett have the
Fluid.
ability to float around and have fluid. So with that, Bennett was born with completely healthy lungs.
Okay.
He was born at 31 and a half weeks, very premature,
Yes.
but had fully developed lungs for a premature baby.
Oh,
So
really?
they think that the fluids, sped
Helped.
up the development of his lungs.
Which we all need.
Correct. So with Bennett, he was healthy, but he had the kidney disease. And that's when, after a couple weeks of life, his kidneys just filled up with cysts, and he had to have them removed right on his 40-week full-term date.
You're kidding.
He had his both kidneys removed and then got put on hemodialysis for a very short period, and then he did peritoneal dialysis
Yeah.
For about a year. And then
Was
he was
that difficult with you at home and everything else with a new baby? I know I have two
Yeah.
children
yeah.
that were healthy, so
Yeah, no, it was definitely a challenge doing his dialysis at home, but we were so thankful, and Dean and I chose to take it on because we lost Matthew and we didn't want nursing in our house. We wanted to own
wanted
it,
to
and
do
I
it
wanted to
on
be
your
his
own.
mom.
yeah.
So yes, we did all his dialysis, and his peritoneum eventually failed, and then he ended up on hemodialysis.
Okay.
And then he got his first transplant around 2.5, was it?
About that.
Yeah,
Wow.
about 2.5. So we struggled with a lot of in and out hospitalizations, surgeries, a lot that he went through really the first 9 years of his life.
Right.
But he was such a fighter, and
And I heard
Oh.
just through the grapevine what a happy child he was
Mm-hmm.
with everybody,
yes.
which impresses me because I go back to the parents
Mm-hmm.
and the support that he got to help him be that way.
Yep, yep.
So-
Bennett didn't know any different with his life. Unfortunately, when he got his kidneys removed, he had some acute seizures because of the metabolic imbalance
Sure.
and his blood pressure swing. So he did have brain damage after all of that. So he had intellectual disability, cortical vision impairment, cerebral palsy.
Oh my goodness.
So he had a lot of challenges even on the physical
On
side
top
of it.
of what he
Yep.
had. Yeah,
But
what-
again, he loved his life, and that was what was so beautiful, is he was purely innocent and loved
and he enjoyed
every part
each
of
day
it.
is
yes.
what you're saying.
Yes.
Instead of
Loved to play with Dad and get into trouble and
Really?
giggle and
Yeah.
laugh. And
well, I appreciate Dean's humor. So I can only
yeah,
imagine what
Bennett
Bennett
had
went
it.
through.
Yes.
Did he?
Yes, he did.
No, that is so cool. And how did he go to school?
So Bennett went to the School for the Blind for 9 years.
Okay. What a great school that is.
Wonderful
Absolutely.
school, wonderful. And then he went to D.T. Watson for the last 3 years of his
I've
life.
heard of them too.
out
that-
in South Fayette.
Yes.
And one
yes.
thing I would say too is, I mean, people in Pittsburgh do not understand how blessed we are with so many schools and so many early intervention for children and kids with, special needs. You just there is.
Thanks
a,
for bringing
yeah,
that
there
out.
is a plethora of schools from Watson, School for the Blind, Children's Institute, and
Yeah.
Pathfinder.
Did you have nurses that had to come to the house too?
No,
or you
Kristen,
handled it all?
Kristen was amazing. She did it all. She
Wow.
learned from the therapist. She learned from anything she would go, and really was the biggest advocate for Bennett. And that was, amazing to watch. She really, as she said earlier, left Hines and then took over the care of Bennett, but really just was a huge advocate for his 16 and a half years of life. So
Well, she sounds like a great mother.
absolutely.
I had
She's
all
sitting
the
right
support
here.
from Dad too.
No,
So,
and that
yeah.
helps when you're together on
Yes.
that. And I have for parents with disabled children and special needs, I have a special place in my heart because I'm thankful and grateful every day. You know, and we take health for granted.
Yes.
And look at what you were dealt
Yes.
with from your first pregnancy and
Yes.
first child with Matthew, and then every day with Bennett. And then we got to get to this, always be smiling, because you've inspired me, and I try to promote you each time. We're talking about Bennett, or B as you called him. Look at this picture of him.
Yeah.
You talk about a happy child. I just feel that, and I never met him.
Yeah, he loved his life, loved to smile, and that's really why we came up with Always Be Smiling, because no matter what he dealt with from
Yes.
medical issues, surgery, he always did it with a smile, and it was just natural for us to carry that forward and really to help other families be able to get out, have some normalcy, and create smiles for children and families dealing
Right,
with
and I
health
assume
challenges.
that's what you're trying to do because you got future things that you would like to do, but you're helping people and families now, the way I understand
Yep.
it, correct?
Absolutely.
And if people can donate, you're a 501c3 nonprofit. I'm familiar with that. I actually worked for a couple, and
Yes.
so I appreciate it. You can write off your donation. I always ask people for at least $1 or whatever they can afford to donate to a great cause, great parents that are trying to carry a legacy of what Always Be Smiling is based on, and Bennett. And I'm just honored to be able to talk about this with you. And have you done any local events that you could talk about just recently with Always Be Smiling?
You want to do
Yeah,
Dean,
so-
Dean came up with the
Yeah.
boo and bikes.
Yes, yeah.
But I saw it, so
Yeah.
I wanted to
Yeah.
know who thought of it.
Yeah,
so.
that
Yeah.
was Dean's our creative behind everything.
Kristen,
You're the
Kristen-
backbone.
I am.
Yeah,
I'm
she's the doer. I come up with the
executor,
ideas.
yeah.
So
Well, somebody got to do it.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So what we're doing all through October is it's called Boo and Bikes. So we partner on the Montour Trail at the Tandem Connection.
Okay.
Dave and Lori Poe have been very kind. They're the owners of the Tandem Connection.
Oh,
And
nice. Shout out to them
yeah,
for helping.
absolutely. If you want to, rent a bike or have a great experience on the Montour Trail, the Tandem Connection is great for that. But they've graciously allowed us to store the Duet bike. And the Duet bike, if you go on our website, you can see all the picture, is a special needs bike built with a wheelchair on the front.
Right.
And then we pilot, and it's an e-assisted bike. So then we
Ah.
pedal and do that. So what we've been doing with our adaptive biking program is getting families and kids out on the trail. And through the month of October on Sundays, we get up in a witch's costume for Kristen. I'm a Superman. What we do in general is have the kids come out. They can be in costume along with their brother, sister, mom,
Don't
and
the
dad.
kids just love that?
Absolutely, and the smiles, and we put them up on our webpage so you can see all of the different pictures.
And pictures with Superman.
Well, super something. So,
Superman in my book.
thank you. And so we rent bikes for the family.
Oh,
always,
you pay for the
Always Be
rentals?
Smiling. It's a free program. So they come out. We do the Duet bike for the child with special needs or health challenge. Then we'll, for the whole family, get all the bikes rented for them. We go out, do a 8-9 mile trail ride.
Really?
Take pictures, and the leaves right now are amazing on the Montour Trail.
Sure.
And then we come back. We have our tent set up. We do a ton of arts and crafts with them. Apple cider, and then we also have at the Tandem Connection we provide ice cream for them and do an ice cream social. So
I had ice cream at your event at the farm there.
that
Yes.
was kind of one of Bennett's favorite things was his mint chocolate chip ice cream. So that's
Guess
always
what
a
I
part of
had?
it. Mint chocolate chip.
Yes, in honor.
There you go.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And it was delicious, and it honored my daughter selling Girl Scout cookies.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I have that
wonderful.
connection.
But
No,
with
that-
the rides, we've had over like 50 families come out to
You're
the trail
kidding.
throughout the summer, and it's just really blown us away.
Me too.
Yeah,
Just to
and-
hear that now.
Yeah, we're
How do
really-
they get a hold of you? You got me all pumped up.
Yeah.
Can we say a number or?
Yep. So go to alwaysbesmiling.org.
Okay.
And you'll
Repeat it again because I'm old.
alwaysbesmiling.org.
You got it now.
Yep, and that's where you sign up. Unfortunately, the program ends the end of October, but we'll introduce it once the weather gets nice, end of March, beginning of April.
We hope. We're in Pittsburgh,
Right.
so
We
we
just don't
understand
know.
our Pittsburgh
Could be July
weather.
before it
right,
warms
absolutely.
up.
Yes.
Don't know, but we're
That
also
is so great.
We're also looking at other activities during the winter time frames to get
Some
special
indoor
needs kids
type of thing.
together,
And
or
the
maybe
families,
have a
yep.
teen night or a pizza night, or just something fun that we can get
Something
the
in the
kids.
area.
Yeah.
Where do you guys live at?
So we live in South Fayette.
Okay. So you might have some activities in that area.
Correct.
Okay.
More of the South Hills area.
Well, we're right next door.
Yep.
You bet.
But what we're finding with the program as well, it isn't just about the children, it's about the families and the moms, the dads, the siblings.
Living proof of you two.
Yep. Yep. So,
So
we're
I'm sure you have empathy for them.
yes.
Correct.
Definitely. So our long-term vision, which is the picture that you showed,
Yes.
is that we are looking to build an activity center on the Montour Trail. And probably partnering with Tandem to do that,
Really?
close to the Tandem connection.
You heard it first
Yes.
here on the Talking Machine
Yes.
Show. We got a partnership coming down the road
Hopefully.
with no time limit. It's open-ended.
Correct.
Because I'm an optimist.
Yep. Yep. So-
And if you can, I'll ask you again, please donate to alwaysbesmiling.org, okay? And help them out, even if it's $1. They'll accept anything, and they're trying to do great things for others that are suffering with what they went through with their children and families. And it does affect families and even grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, the whole spectrum.
Yep.
Definitely. And I heard you're even helping different families and stuff out there when you can.
We are. So we're also helping children at Children's Hospital.
Oh, great.
So when we're actually focusing on the nephrology department, because everything built around Always Be Smiling was what was important in Bennett's life.
And explain
he's-
to him about nephrology, because I didn't know what a nephrologist
So a kidney
was.
doctor.
Yes.
Kidney
And
doctor.
I'm rather smart, I've been told,
Yep.
but I didn't know why I had to see a nephrologist when my kidneys were only functioning
Yes.
15%.
Yes.
So I just wanted that clear.
Yep.
Just like they don't know that they put the kidneys in the front and attach it to an artery in your leg.
Yep.
And just like they take a couple little orthoscopic to the living donor and take the kidney out there. And my son his kidney was ready to work, they said right after
Yes.
that. So I'm sure yours was too,
Yes.
Dean. And you were actually in a swap of kidneys with which what they do. So I wanted to put that out there. If you feel the empathy to donate a kidney, you can donate and they will match you with whoever it is, and you could say you wanted to do it with a certain person or maybe organization, and then they could work it out for you. They're very good like that. Living proof with Dean, and with my knowledge of finding out more in the last 2 years since I had my transplant. I just wanted to get that out there, because if we can help others, look at the help you've received and what
Yep.
you're doing for others.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah, and I didn't mean to cut you off with your future and all that. but
No, that's fine. I think just going back to what we're helping at Children's Hospital, the kids within the nephrology department that
Yes.
get admitted for a stay, we're providing buddy bags, which are all entertainment items
Oh, nice.
to help pass the time a little bit and hopefully put a little smile on their face. And then we're also helping with families that have financial hardships. So let's say they get a phone call to get the child's ready for a kidney.
Yes.
And it's, a deceased kidney, and they have to come in within hours to receive that kidney.
Right, 'cause you don't
cadaveric
know.
kidney.
Yes.
We're helping if they financially can't, get to the hospital and with lodging and transportation.
Look what it
and
takes. Yes.
it takes a lot for them to get here. So we're working with the social worker in the nephrology department to help different families that need that support.
That is great that you've set up a network to do good things for people in need, and it's something to save their life. How many times you hear people are sick, but you witness that you could die if you don't get a new kidney.
Correct.
Yeah.
And through God and being truly blessed, I've survived it. And Dean made it through in spite of his different things that happened, because I've talked to other people. Some have a good time with being a donor. Others, I just talked to a guy that for over a year he had health problems and different things that affected him, and he gave a kidney at 26 years old, and now he's 29. He's better now, but he had a lot of horrific problems that they don't tell you about. It's the minority. So there are risks to everything, but you're doing great things. out there. I'm just happy to know that.
Yeah.
And what other type of things you were saying during the winter you might try to do, a pizza thing or maybe some type of event?
Yeah, we're going to definitely.
Come on, idea
yeah.
guy. Throw a couple out here. We're
Yeah, I will.
brainstorming on air.
No, so
we got 3 minutes to go, so we're
awesome.
getting down.
No, and thank you very much for having us and for the time.
You're
so
welcome.
What we want to do is, as we've done the rides that Kristen was talking about, these families are like, oh my God, this is the first time we've gotten out as a family or the out
Great
of doors.
point.
And it is, you have these conversations as you're out on the trail, and we've talked to them. Well, what about if we did an activity center that had handicap
Great
bathroom
idea.
that has a changing table, because the Montour Trail doesn't have
It's
a lot
limited,
of that. It's a lot of porta johns, and with a special needs child, that's just not appropriate.
I wanted
So-
to ask that, so I'm glad you
Yeah.
brought it up.
So we want to be able to offer that, and then programs. Once we have a brick and mortar activity center, would be horticulture programs, various harvest programs,
Okay.
having schools out for field trips. We've been
Oh,
blessed.
great idea.
We used Bennett's original Duet bike. That these are expensive bikes that are made over in Holland, and we've been blessed since started the program. We've had 2 people come forward and donate additional bikes. So next year we're going to have 3 Duet bikes that will really be able to have schools and larger groups come out
Oh,
and be able to
congrats.
do
I can
programs.
see how you're trying to grow this.
Yeah, and
You heard it, and I'll donate for a Duet bike.
yeah, there you go.
I'm your promoter
There
right
you
here.
go.
Sign me up.
Awesome.
I
And
want no
that's-
commission.
Perfect, perfect. None given. But I will
Thank you.
tell you, just to
We have a deal.
yeah, just to close on that, Chris and I have been beyond blown away of the momentum and how this has resonated with people. And yet, if you think about it, it's kids with special needs dealing with health challenges, and then getting them out into the community, getting them out in educational settings that allow them to experience things that we all take for granted. And that's, again, brothers, sisters, the special needs child, as well as mom and dad. So that's where we really feel we have the ability to make this something special. And it's things we thought would be in 5 or 7 years are happening within a year, and we're really excited where we're going.
1,000 likes by December 11th. Now you know why. And I call it trying to normalize a life that is not.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've seen, and I try to do it. And that's why I promote you, and I'll promote you on my Pittsburgh Sports Line from now on. Since I met
Thank you.
I have your Always Be Smiling brochures, and I put it up every Tuesday night during my little community service where I talk about other nonprofits and businesses in Bethel Park. There's no charge for that. It's all the time, and I will continue to carry on.
Thank you.
You've been great guests. I appreciate it, and I wish you good luck in the future, and anything I can do to help, I will carry on.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for having
Thank you
us.
so much, and thank you for
Thank
watching
you.
this show. Hope you enjoyed it. Please donate to alwaysbesmiling.org. Till the next show, thank you.